morning, and welcome to UUCC, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Canandaigua. We are a small group of spiritual freethinkers who gather to celebrate life, build community, and better the world. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. I'm Karen Alvarez, your worship associate for this morning, and the service today will be led by Laura Wink. Thank you to everyone on this morning's worship team, including music by Bill Mills and Children's Church for Children 3 and over by Pat and Kaya Mills. If this is your first visit, welcome. We invite you to sign the visitor's book in the entryway. And whether it's your first visit or your 1,000th, we are glad that you came. This service is also being live streamed to our YouTube channel. We will plan on continuing with hybrid worship services, so you can join each week here in person, on Zoom, or later on YouTube. To help you connect better with our friends watching from home, please turn around and give a wave to the camera. At the end of the service, we will invite our friends on Zoom to turn on their cameras and return the wave. I have a few announcements to share with you today. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, please fill out the card on your chair. We invite you to bring them forward and place them in that basket after Bill rings the chimes and begins to play. You can also come forward to drop a pebble in the water at that time if you have a joy or sorrow that you'd prefer not to be shared. After this service today will be our monthly social and environmental justice meeting, where we will continue to go over what we learned from the climate justice revival, set goals for the rest of the year and beyond, and select service partners. Please join us to share what you are passionate about. Join us for Rochester's annual Interfaith Thanksgiving service at Temple Sinai on November 28th at 11 a.m. It's at 63 Penfield Road in Rochester. First Universalist is one of the 3 founding congregations of this service, the oldest of its kind in the nation. Along with First Unitarian and Temple Berith Kadesh, other congregations have joined since then. Worship is led by Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and Unitarian Universalist clergy. You can also find a link for the live stream in the weekly email or on the printed announcements hanging over the welcome table. There is a link for the live stream. Starting next week and continuing every Sunday in December, you will find crafts, arts, and gifts, probably some bake sale items, handmade by our members for sale after the service. All proceeds will benefit the mission of the church. Are there any other announcements for the good of the community?
So thank you so much to everyone who took time to fill out the worship and celebration survey. We were excited to find out that it turns out solstice is one thing that we have most in common as wanting to really take the time to recognize and celebrate together. So this year our holiday lineup will be a solstice-focused service on December 22nd. But after we finish that service, we're going to kind of jump ahead to the next holiday, and Bill is generous enough to lead us in our annual carol sing after that service, and we hope that you'll stay, enjoy some cookies and conversation and caroling. Then, after the kind of success and enthusiasm from the Christmas pageant last year, and the results of that survey, we're going to try something different this year and come to church not on a Sunday morning to celebrate Christmas Eve, So at 4 p.m., we're going to have a Christmas musical and storytelling experience where we will kind of go back and forth telling the Christmas story, putting in some Christmas carols and hymns that go along with the different parts, and there will be costumes available so that we can all have a very active role in a fun and celebratory time.
I just want to add, if you were here for the pageant last year, it's really fun. So I will be here on Christmas Eve, even though that's not a thing I usually do. It's a blast. As we prepare to be fully together, I remind you to silence your phones and devices. We now enter a space of worship.
And people can bring forward.
Okay. I thought we were doing the
Oh, I'll
ring
do that after
first.
the next sentence.
Gotcha. Now is the time to bring forward any joys and sorrows, and we also invite you to come forward to drop a pebble in the water if you have a joy or a sorrow that you prefer not to share. Do we have any chalice lighter or volunteers? Isabel? You could say no. I invite you to join with me in our chalice lighting words as the flame is lit. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning in celebration of the life we share together.
I'd like to start by thanking Danielle for gathering all the materials for service today. I'm just delivering what she cleverly found. Thanks, Danielle. So this is from Instructions in Joy by Nancy Schaffer. When you heard that voice and knew finally it called for you and what it was saying, where were you? Were you in the shower, wet and soapy, or chopping cabbage late for dinner? Were you planting radish seeds or seeking one lost sock? Maybe wiping handprints off of a window, or coaxing words into a sentence, or coming upon a hyacinth, or one last no? Where were you when you heard that ancient voice, and did yes get born right then? And did you weep? Had it called you since before you even were? And when you knew that, did your joy escape all holding? Where were you when you heard that calling voice, and how in that moment did you mark it? How, ever after, are you changed? Tell us, please, all you can about that voice. Tell us how to listen, how to hear. Teach us all you can of saying yes. I invite us to rise in body or in spirit and join in our opening hymn, number 300 in the gray hymnal, With Heart and Mind. Now it's time for a story. If there's anyone who would like to come sit right up front, you're welcome now or at any time during the story. This is Amira's Porpoise by Chrissy Bushyager. Today I'm going to tell a story about a girl who was searching for a porpoise. Now, as you probably know, a porpoise is a sea mammal in the dolphin family. Porpoises are smaller and shyer than dolphins. They are more difficult to find, but porpoises are very important.
Laura, the topic for today is about finding purpose, not porpoise.
Purpose?
Purpose.
So
Yes.
not porpoises?
No.
Danielle, seriously. So, well, do you mind if I just read this? Because Danielle found it and I don't have a backup.
Okay, we can give it a try.
Thank you. Just going to read on. So there was once a girl named Amira, and all she wanted for her birthday was a porpoise of her very own. She wished and hoped and dreamed of a porpoise. She asked her parents and her grandparents. She told all her friends at school that she was getting a porpoise for her birthday. But her birthday came, and it went, and she did not get a porpoise. She was very disappointed, and she wanted answers. So she asked her parents, and they said, "Oh, Amira, we couldn't get you a porpoise. That is something you need to seek out for yourself." Amira looked at her parents kind of funny, and she said, "You know, I said porpoise, right? Like the sea mammal that's smaller than a dolphin?" And her parents looked at each other and said, "Whoops, you can't have a wild animal for your birthday anyway." She asked her grandparents, and they said, "Oh, Amira, we can't get you a purpose. You have to figure it out when you're older, and you have to figure out your purpose on your own when you're older, and sometimes even adults don't know their purpose." At this point, Amira was getting a little annoyed. "I said porpoise. I want a porpoise, the sea mammal, like a small dolphin." And her grandparents said, "I'm sorry, we misheard you, but we wouldn't have bought you a porpoise anyway. They belong in the wild, my dear." Amira was fuming. Why had no one understood her when she wanted a porpoise? And now that she thought about it, why were the adults unwilling to give her a purpose either? What was a purpose anyway? So Amira set out finding a purpose. Over the next several years, she asked a lot of adults that she knew and trusted. And some of the adults said, I don't know, that's a really hard thing to explain. But some of the adults gave her some good advice. They said, pay attention to the things you care about and how you can use those to make a difference in the world. You may not have a clear idea about it yet, and your purpose will certainly change over time. But if you think about the things that you value and how you can use those things for good, you'll be on the right track. So Amira thought about the things that she valued and cared about, things like animals and the habitats that they live in. She thought about the things that she liked to do, like learning new things and teaching those things to younger children. She thought about her heroes, people who were living their lives in ways that she wanted to copy. And she thought about what was possible and ways that she could change the world when she was older. And eventually, after some time and some work, Amira came up with her purpose. And the funny thing is that Amira's purpose didn't stray too far from porpoises. She decided that her purpose was to be a caring advocate for the earth and teach others about conservation, and that is just what she did.
Now is the time in our service to join together in the spiritual practice of generosity. Our gifts of both time and money support our church in its work. Each week, we would like to spotlight a group or committee and thank them for their gifts of time. This week's group is religious education. So that involves going downstairs, hanging out with kids, and maybe talking to them about who you are and what you love, and it's really fun, and kids are great. People interested in finding out more can contact Nancy Reed. 1/4 of our plate collection for the darkness season will go to our service partner, but we need your help to figure out who that will be. During the last meeting of the Social Environmental Justice Committee, we worked to combine the information we gathered during the Climate Justice Revival to make a plan to guide our efforts during this church year and beyond. Please take some time to look at the lists on the table in the back of the room and think about which paths call to you the loudest. Join us after the service to help make sure that our justice efforts reflect the passions of our congregation. You can give to this morning's offering by placing cash or a check into the basket or by one of the options on the screen. Please make a note that your gift is intended for today's offering. We now gratefully accept the offering.
I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open.
We have one concern to share today that reflects an ongoing desire to be a better person now and for the future. So I'll now drop a stone for this and all the other joys and sorrows left in the silence of our heart. Whatever is in your heart today, let's all say it. We are
with you.
At this time, if the children would like to go downstairs for Children's Church, please go downstairs with Kaya and Pat.
Go now in peace, go now in peace.
Now is the time for centering. Let us take a few moments now to sink into our seats. Find the supportive earth beneath you with your feet. Let your eyes fall closed and your breath be slow. Let that breath guide you into stillness. We gather together this morning, tenderly, like drops of dew on a leaf of grass. Hopefully, like gathered raindrops in a cloud. Gleefully, like water rushing in a stream to the sea. Deeply, like groundwater pulled up from a well. We gather from every direction for another year of growth and depth, another year of companionship and hope, another year of learning to love this world. We gather like the water that joins us across all of creation, the water that connects us within and without, merging and flowing across the entire world. A major theme of our worship and our work this year has been coming together to strengthen our foundations and recommitting to working together toward a shared purpose. Sometimes investing time to really listen to each other and focus our time and energy on just a few of the many great things that we could try to bring more justice into the world can feel like a lot of talking and not enough doing. I am confident that when we come together with open hearts and minds, our small but mighty congregation can make positive changes, even if it feels like it's just to our tiny corner of the world. I hope that you'll join us after the service to share which direction justice is calling you to move forward. We are now going to share a video of the powerful sermon, The Call of Our Faith. Oh, I'm going to destroy this name. That Dr. Takia Nur Amin shared during the UUA's 2021 Side with Love service. On the screen.
Just got a couple lessons. Please hold.
You know, in every moment, even if it doesn't feel like it, life is giving us an invitation, I really believe that. I really believe that in every moment, life is giving us an invitation to do the things that are the most loving and life affirming. And that doing the loving and life affirming thing is always the answer when you don't know what to do or if you're feeling unsure. There's always a moment of invitation to rethink or reevaluate. We're being invited into this cosmic dance of renewal and joy and justice, but you have to make the justice. It doesn't just show up without our participation or our effort. Things don't get better just by us waiting for them to happen. We all have to engage in the better making from wherever we are, and each moment presents an invitation for us to do that. I don't want us to forget that. Even if, like me, you are tired or feeling frustrated or feeling unsure, the invitation to participate in life in a manner that is about living our values, living love and justice is still there, no matter what else is going on. Ask yourself, what's the most loving, life affirming thing that I can do in this moment for myself or for other people? Sometimes it's get some rest. Sometimes it's apologize for something you've done. Sometimes it's reconsider how you're using your money or other resources in the broader world. To me, if we're talking about race and justice, love is about acknowledging that there has been wrong, that there has been harm perpetrated, and that whether you personally feel like you participated in it or not, you are likely benefiting from the inequitable results of that harm. Even if you are a person who wants to say, well, I didn't participate in making things this way, if you are benefiting from the ill-gotten gains, then you have some responsibility to make things right, especially if you then turn around and say that you believe in justice and equity. You are not let off the hook, no matter what. When we have broader conversations about reparations or what it looks like to repair, particularly the harms that have been done to Indigenous communities, Black communities, other communities of color, I believe that love means thinking about the resources that enable life. So what does reparation look like at the intersection of communities of color and healthcare, or communities of color and education? What does it look like to have those kinds of conversations beyond, just conversations about money and land that is owed, but also about accessing resources that have been inequitably distributed for more than a century? All of us should have a hand in those conversations, and all of us have some responsibility to bring about justice in those contexts. Plainly, if you're not going to do that work, if you're not going to be committed to thinking about that and how you can serve in that work, then to me, it obfuscates the mandate of what it means to be Unitarian Universalist. Because ours is a faith that calls us to do things. Being Unitarian Universalist in part means maybe you don't pray the way I pray. Maybe you don't pray at all. But how do we live together in equitable community, despite what I might think about God or what you might think about God? This is a faith that calls us to commit to the work of making justice. This is a faith that calls us to think about what it means not to believe the same, but to live together in beloved community, despite our own discrete perspectives about spirituality or the afterlife. That is a part of the call, the mandate of what it is to be Unitarian Universalist, to figure out how we live together in loving, equitable, just relationship with each other. I believe that the proof of our faith is the extent to which we do that. The proof of our faith is not in some confession that we make. The proof of our faith is not in some words that we say. The essence of our endeavor, the proof of what we believe, is in how we do the work of bringing about love, justice, and community. As Unitarian Universalists, I think we've given up perhaps too quickly on notions of salvation. If we think about the notion of being saved from harm, I don't know that it's actually possible to have personal salvation beyond the community. There's no way for you to have salvation and some kind of perfect, flourishing life outcome while everything around you is suffering and burning, because we're all connected. We are. If COVID hasn't reaffirmed in your mind that we're all connected, I really don't know what to tell you. Here we are right now, suffering through a global pandemic together. People are passing a deadly virus to each other. through our breath that we can't see. That's a metaphor for us all being connected, if I've ever heard one. I think it's something that we would do well to think about and remember. Our salvation is intimately tied up in each other's ability to see other people as worthwhile, all human beings as valuable and possessing dignity, all life as having value and possessing dignity. Now, that's not the same as liking me. This is not, I need you to like me. This is not, I need us to be best friends so that we can go to the shopping mall together. This is understand that I have as much of a right to human thriving and flourishing as anybody else, and that I have as much to offer as anyone else. And so do you. How do we create a context where all of that is possible, where all that human thriving and life is possible? That's going to require sacrifice and time and deep listening and nuance. But that's what being a Unitarian Universalist requires. Other faith traditions ask for other things. This is what Unitarian Universalism asks of us. This is what we signed up for. And to me, this is serious. The call of our faith is critical right now. Ours is not a faith of anything goes. When I hear people say, I'm a UU because I can believe whatever I want, that's actually the furthest thing from the truth. It's time to lean into whether or not we really believe it. Or are we just saying it to give ourselves the illusion of faith community? So we can feel like we have some kind of faith tradition. Do we really believe in the values of our faith enough to enact them in the larger world in a manner that is bold and clear and unequivocal? People need to know, especially in this moment, what our commitments are. And if we're going to say that we are a faith that is committed to justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, we have to actually do that. It's not just about saying the thing, we have to do the thing. Frankly, I'd feel better if we did less saying and more doing. I need us to have the collective maturity now to do what it is our faith asks us to do. Amen. Amen. Ashe.
Let us sing this song for the turning of the world, that we may turn as one. With every voice, every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. With every voice, every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. Let us sing this song for working in the world, that we may work as one. Every voice, every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our working. With every voice, every song, we will move this world along. We will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our working.
I'd like to close by sharing some words by Pat Uribe Lichty. Different but united. We come from many places, along different paths, bringing different truths. We come with different histories and different realities, and yet we come together as one people, with faith that we can use our differences to heal ourselves and each other, to bring wholeness to our fractured world. We come seeking to find community, to find acceptance of who we are, In this place, we may find others who are much like us and others who are much different. May our lit chalice remind us that we are a people taught by different stories with many voices, but always one people working for a world where love creates justice and justice gives birth to peace. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in our closing hymn that we learned together during the Climate Justice Revival. We will rise together, found on the paper on or near your seat.
We will rise together, you and I, rise together hand in hand. We will rise together, heads held high. We will reach the promised land. Come, my friend, I see a brighter day, where freedom rings for everyone. Come along and we will find a way to justice rising like the sun. We will strive together. We will strive together, you and I. Strive together hand in hand. We will strive together, heads held high. We will reach the promised land. Come, my friend, I see a brighter day, where freedom rings for everyone. Come along and we will find a way to justice rising like the sun. We will stand together. We will stand together, you and I. Stand together hand in hand. We will stand together, heads held high. We will reach the promised land. Come, my friend, I see a brighter day, where freedom rings for everyone. Come along and we will find a way to justice rising like the sun.
If you're with us today on Zoom and would like to wave goodbye at the end of the service, that's now, so you can turn your cameras on.
I actually had to stop the share in order to change that. So I'm gonna put up those chalice extinguishing words very soon.
Just give us a shout when you're ready.
Talk amongst yourselves.
It's fine, we could tell stories about purpose or porpoise. Okay, please join me in our words for extinguishing the challenge. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Sure. Regardless of whether or not you were here for the Climate Justice Revival, we invite everyone to join us at the purple table to work on what we're going to do